we are live. My name is Simon, and I am the story guide here tonight for Onyx Path Con 2022. They Came from Beyond the Grave, where we are playing The Haunting of Abbeyham Priory. They Came from Beyond the Grave is a love letter to 1970s Hammer horror films and every cheesy horror film out there possible. And thank you, Michelle, for... Could you hold that up a little higher to give the folks at home and a little closer to the screen that's being swallowed up by the archway?
My God, what's happening to it?
Yes, there we are. So we are playing the jumpstart of They Came from Beyond the Grave. We are going to, we'll introduce the story and the background, and then we'll go around and introduce the cast. So the group are a team of parapsychologists from the University of Portsmouth. This is set in England. I may or may not attempt an accent for everybody. It may or may not be the same accent for everybody, regardless of where they came from. But I'll try. Now, they have arranged for themselves an overnight ghost hunting expedition in one of England's most haunted buildings, Abbeyham Priory. It's a medieval priory famous for an abundance of ghosts, mysterious disappearances in the surrounding forest, and rumors of great predatory beasts roaming the land. They are there to catalog the hauntings using the finest tools of 1970s paranormal research. This includes tape recorders and expensive Kirlian cameras that can photograph auras, ghosts, and other psychic phenomena. Their side goal is to survive the night. Will they all get out unscathed, or will they perish? I believe I did ask somebody have emergency on speed dial. So let's go around the group, and we'll have everybody introduce their characters, starting with and themselves. So give your pertinence as you like, and we'll start with Rosemary Quinn.
Well, hello there. I'm Rosemary Quinn, who is played by Robin, which you can find me on Twitch or TikTok as Second Gen Gamer, but mostly over at Dork Tales. And yes, Rosemary Quinn is a bright PhD assistant to Professor, I'm forgetting the name, Roland Masterson. I work for him. I got my PhD and immediately went working under him. I may or may not like the fact that I'm working for him under my lab. I'd much prefer to have my own, but this is what life is. To get that grant money, you need to put in your licks.
Excellent, thank you. And next up we have Gregory Beckett.
Hi, my name is Brody. I'm going to be playing Gregory Beckett, a former detective whom, due to a corrupt system, eventually left the police force. Fortunately, his governor shot him when he threatened to reveal his corrupt superior's secrets. After being jaded through the system, he decided to take his life in a whole new direction, investigating the paranormal, to which he has a healthy skepticism for. And I'm looking forward to playing this character.
Awesome. Next up is Diana Baku-Hearn.
Well, well. My name is Michelle C. Light, and I'll be playing Diana for this evening. Diana, I am a mystic of various occult and religious beliefs, who believes that when there's not a scientific explanation for something, it's often more magical than you think.
Excellent. Great. And last but not least, Christopher Hearn.
Hello there. I'm Christopher Hearn, played by Kelly Clark in the film. I like fast cars, attractive people of any gender. I'm not discriminating or discerning, except about my wine. And I'm tagging along with my Aunt Diana, who's having a little ghost hunting expedition. With luck, I'm going to end up on the telly. I'm playing a Doom. News. I love it.
You're playing like Austin Powers mixed with Matt Berry there.
Mixed with Teddy from our Mage game, yes.
That's true.
You had me at Matt Berry. And as I mentioned, I am Simon, and I will be playing everybody else that they will run into, unless mysterious guest stars appear, which I highly doubt is going to happen. So, with that in mind, we have this is set in the 1970s, so hence a number of costumes and so on, and any audio accompaniment that may sound not contemporary. Okay, so we will begin. The credits will roll, and the camera will open on our protagonists driving up to a public car park not far from Abbeyham Priory. Gregory Beckett is driving. It's a blue Austin Allegro, and the car trunk, or boot for those of you from the aisle, is packed full of all of your ghost hunting equipment. So as we mentioned, there are things like tape recorders, EMF meters, and a very expensive Kirlian camera. So as we pull up, it's been a 2-hour journey from Portsmouth. And, well, Christopher, what are you doing as you pull up into the park?
Oh, waking up from a nap. Oh, there, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. Smashing.
Great. Diana, how was the journey?
Well, 2 hours passes by rather quickly when you put on your tapes, listening to music on the way down, chatting about different passing-ons, different churches, different grave sites that we drove past on the way. About midway through is when my darling nephew decided to fall asleep on me, so I let him rest as I turned the music up ever so loudly to wake him up once we got there.
Excellent. Okay. Rosemary, was anybody doing anything in the car that was, say, perhaps bothering you or anyone else? Smoking, speaking loudly, playing tapes?
The music was driving Rosemary absolutely batty. She was trying to study her notes and figure out what she needs to do, and that sound, you could hear it over the headphones. It just was grating on her. She was just like, I'm trying to study and write notes and flip through the notes from Professor, but I guess I'll have that as background. Oh, simpletons.
And Gregory, what excites you the most about arriving at Abbeyham Priory?
About proving some of their fellow passengers wrong about their beliefs in the supernatural. It's absolute nonsense, of course, and here today, I'm going to be proven right.
Okay. Well, for all of your sakes, let's hope that's true. So, as you pull to a stop and climb out of the car, gathering your gear and equipment, you look over at the Priory, standing stark and black as the sun sets behind it. It's a great, imposing building. It still has much of its original Gothic character: stone arches, long windows, and undoubtedly exceedingly thick walls. Moments before, you drove through the village of Abbeyham, and this is almost absurdly large in comparison, just absolutely dwarfing it in character and mass. You notice another thing as well. In front of the front door, there's a cluster of people. A rather large cluster of people. They are relatively composed, except the placards and signs they have, that they're sort of gently shaking and waving at anyone who may be nearby, sometimes towards the priory itself. And from this distance, you can catch some of the writing. You see the word God on it, and a couple of other things, but it's not entirely clear what they seem to be taking issue with. What does everybody do?
Gregory is going to go to the trunk and get all the equipment out.
All right.
What's up with their bums?
I am normally one for a good protest, make love not war and all, but
Oh, definitely that one.
I don't think they're here to protest the war.
What do you think they're here for, then?
Well, my darling dearest nephew, there's normally one of two options we can do here. We could walk up, find out, or we can just mind our own business.
Oh, what's
now,
the
I believe one of these two is much more fun than the other. What do you think?
I was just about to say, what's the fun in that? Yeah, absolutely. No problem there. I'm gonna go and say hello. Would you like to join me?
Well, of course, darling, somebody's got to be your accountability buddy.
Me what now?
Accountability buddy.
Oh, yes, of course, Auntie.
Now, Rose, you can take care of lugging your stuff out of the trunk, right?
I mean, yes, I can. Gregory, would you mind helping? Apparently these two are gonna go talk to the crowds, I guess clear a path.
No bother.
Yes.
You wouldn't want me touching your stuff and breaking it, because...
You're right, I actually wouldn't.
See? So it's mutually beneficial. Come on, darling, let's go. Come on.
I'm on my way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So leading the group, Diana and Christopher saunter up to the mob, followed by Rosemary and Gregory lugging all the gear. So now you can make out a little more of what they seem to be concerned about. So you see some signs, trust to God, no good will come of this, and various things of that nature. As you approach, as they are right in front of the front door of the Priory, a man, maybe in his early 60s or so, he's wearing a waxed overcoat, a tweed suit. He steps forward and looks at the lot of you. He seems to be having a bit of difficulty figuring out who he wants to speak with.
Hello, Daddy. How are you doing?
What? Daddy?
Oh,
Who
sorry.
are
You
you?
look like someone I know. What's shaking, Bacon?
Which one of you is in charge? Well,
I mean, of what?
we know of your plans. Your mumbo-jumbo pseudoscience has no place in a house of God. How dare you profane the Priory with your nonsense?
I mean, God's kind of like Elvis, love. He's left the building now.
Don't rue those words.
I mean, probably not. I haven't before.
There's a fair bit of agreement with his sort of, well, the extent of his boisterousness, and there's a sort of rumble from behind him as people start shaking signs in your general direction.
Auntie, do you have a?
He smells a
Yeah.
bit of wet dog as well.
Now then, Mr. Sir... Name?
Crawford? St. John Crawford?
This is Mr. Crawford.
Oh, Mr. Crawford.
Of course.
It seems to me that you're under the impression that these researchers here are here to defile your religious building of sorts.
Well, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This science is an intrusion upon the sacred mysteries of the Priory.
So, to investigate the root cause of any mysteriousness is in itself considered an abomination to you, is that what I'm hearing?
Um, Let me ask you a question. Do you leave your food out? A loaf of bread on a table overnight?
If I'm making French toast.
Preposterous. No, that brings rats.
Have you ever had French toast? It's bloody good. Sorry.
I don't have anything that begins with the name French.
No French fries.
Listen,
No French kissing.
Darling, you've been overseas for too long. They call them chips.
while this exchange is going on, Rosemary, are you focusing on this or elsewhere? And Gregory, the same question.
I think Rosemary will have been like starting to organize her notes and stuff, but if like cinematically the conversation, like the crowd dies down and that their argument, the second they start saying like science isn't a thing, Rosemary's gonna like get all huff and cool and presented and swipe back her hair and then just dramatically walk up. Yeah, exactly. Put it in like the bun, and she's gonna be like, science is pure. Science is fact and logic and reason. I will prove without a doubt, sir, that there is paranormal activity, not just mumbo jumbo. I am here as a literate member of society, almost with my PhD, and if you don't clear out of the way, I'm afraid I'm going to have to talk to the council, because we have permission to be here.
I would highly advise you against piercing the veil.
Your words have been duly noted and hereby ignored. Let's go, everyone!
And in the meantime, Gregory, what have you been doing?
Gregory, upon seeing all of this, has stopped, slung one of the bags over his shoulder so he could reach into his pocket, pulled out a packet of Marlboro, struck up a match, put it in his mouth. He's just observing at this moment, thinking, you find these kind of people all over the country, but you can't find anyone with a lick of sense anywhere.
Is he, so his primary focus is Sil Crawford and the exchange?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm not hinting at anything. Okay. Good. Well, he, unfortunately, it seems that he and the crowd are really clustering together, and they're basically blocking your entrance. Any particular tactics or strategies you might want to implement?
I have an idea. Auntie?
Yes, my dear?
Follow my lead. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, friends, boys, girls, whatever, really, it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Talk to the hand. I'm gonna use my talk to the hand trope.
Okay.
To, what is that? Topping out a soda bout, to immediately shut down a conversation, forcing the person over you to walk away and recover their thoughts.
All right. Wow. Okay. So, Crawford sort of huffs and puffs.
I learned that in America, where they're French fries.
Turns around and walks back to the little crowd there and starts sort of leaning in, almost huddle whispering. Well, and as they're doing this, you see that they're sort of unconsciously shifting so that there's a bit of a path to the door now. You could probably all sidle by and get in.
At this opening, Gregory would just push forward.
All right. Taking the lead then? Gregory's in the lead?
Gregory's in lead.
Again, not asking for any particular reason. All right. Okay, so
Rocks fall.
Rocks fall. Everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
So the group is able to get to the front door of the priory, and as you're, looking for the knocker or wondering if you should just step inside, it starts to crack open, and an elderly nun is standing in front of you. She, despite her age, is a very sort of commanding and imposing woman. I apologize when I say despite her age, but very not necessarily, in the absolute peak of health, but straight back, straight shoulders, and sort of head up, chin up as much as a nun might have her chin up in the air. Hello, you're the research team.
All right, love, how's it going?
Well, besides those small-minded local idiots outside, just fine, thank you.
That's fantastic. All right, if I set up over there.
Actually, if you could deposit your equipment through the small door there to the left.
Just over there, yeah?
Exactly, yes.
All right, then.
Come in, everybody.
Sorry. Sister, your sister
Agatha.
Almost Dr. Quinn. I'm almost through my PhD. I'm so sorry that Professor Rowland couldn't make it here tonight. He is tied up with a bit of the sickness. But I promise you, he has given me all of his notes, and I will do my absolute best to act as if he was here himself. We appreciate all of the accommodations you're making for us, and we hope to be of great help to your priory.
Yes, well, I'm sure your notes will be sufficient. Make sure you consult them plenty. That's why they're there. The professor's notes, correct? Not yours?
Correct. And my own, of course. I've taken quite a few notes myself, but yes, I have the professor's notes as well.
Very well. Yes, well, come along in. So she brings you in. The entrance hallway in this little reception room, it's, well, you probably notice the dust quite quickly, and those of you with experience with sensitive equipment and so on might be particularly mindful of it. It's also quite poorly lit, probably due to the lack of windows. Undecorated, clearly has not been deep cleaned for an extensive period of time, and sort of as your eyes scan around, you see cobwebs, and you just feel, I mean, it's an old building, you're inside, it's stone, there's this little chill in the air. The reception room that you enter has a few wooden chairs of relatively shabby condition, and some tables. There's a bookcase, a fireplace, unlit at the far end. Yes, please bring your things in. Make yourselves comfortable. Sister Faustina will arrive shortly to guide you around the priory.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And what does everybody do?
I think Rosemary is going to start setting up various equipment to take notes and set up for trying to collect as much data as they can, and basically maybe choose this room as like a home base of some sort where she can kind of start setting up gadgets and gizmos.
All right, cool. So starting the hunt in the reception room. Mm-hmm. Okay, says Rosemary.
Gregory would be helping in Rosemary's setup.
Okay. Diana. Any
I think what I'm going to do is she's got taken her rather large, like, leather purse akin to with the the shoulder straps on her, and she's gonna start taking things out. You'll see that she's taken out sticks of incense, coins, things that seem rather like knickknacks. There's a dagger in there. There's variety of cards, little stone tablets, different iconography can be seen on all of her items as she just goes, not like this, not like this. She tosses a rock in the air a few times.
And Christopher?
I mean, honestly, just... does anybody need me to carry anything? Do anything? I know. Is there electricity here?
In this room, you have some generators and things like that as well in the event of needing it.
You know what? Spot of tea. Anyone tea? I could use a tea.
Oh, tea, milk, 2 sugars. Thanks.
Oh, 2 sugars for the big one. All right. How about you?
2 milk, 1 sugar for me.
All right. 2 and 1 and 1 and 2. And Auntie, the usual, right?
Yeah, you don't need to know. You already know my.
I know. It's your usual tea is coffee.
Thank you. I like it as dark as my soul.
Yeah. Cheers.
Which means put a lot of milk in it.
God.
Black milk.
So everyone gets started setting up and sort of going about their business. You accomplish some of this, depending on how long it all takes overall. Roughly 10 minutes in, another nun appears, middle-aged woman, bit of a smile on her face, not full-on beaming, but a very pleasant greeting. Sort of just walks on in. Hello, you're the research team.
Yes, almost Dr. Quinn at your service. PhD research student. Dr. Roland sends his regards and apologies for missing this. I have, of course, taken up the lead on it, by that being the most qualified out of everyone else.
Oh, how lovely. I'm so sorry he couldn't make it, but excellent anyway. I'm Sister Faustina, and Sister Agatha asked me to give you a tour.
Yes.
I handle the day-to-day affairs, so if you have any questions as to the matter, I'm sure I can help if it's particularly relevant. Is there anything you need before we set off?
Yes, of course I remember this from, obviously, all the notes and stuff, but why are we here again?
My understanding is that you're here to research the rumors and stories and see what you can find with your science.
Of course, right.
Would you be able to give us a lowdown on all those rumors and stories? Just so we know what to look for again.
Oh, there's stories of ghosts all about the place. A variety of other things in a similar nature, hauntings.
If they come up at a specific time of day or something like that, or
it depends on the ghost and the place and
any
who
celebrities.
Experiences it. Not to my knowledge.
Ah, that's a shame.
Well, I'm sure they have better places to go than to our little priory here. Shall we be off?
And your name was
Sister Faustina.
Faustina, as in the Latin root word Faustus, meaning good luck.
I had good luck, and I'm here with the tea. All right, 2 creams, 1 sugar, 2 milks, 1 sugar. Nobody does cream in their tea. Let's see, 2 and 1, 1 and 2, and a piping hot coffee, roughly the color of a piece of caramel.
You are the best nephew.
I do what I can. Also, a piece of caramel. Found that in the
Chris,
kitchen.
you gave me Rosemary's tea. I asked for the 2 sugars.
Oh, did I mix them
yes.
up? Oh, see,
Yeah.
watch. Here's a nice trick. Ugh, and I'll switch them.
Cheers.
It's much better. Cheers.
Of course. Oh, so I didn't bring anything for you. I've got none for you.
Oh, delightful. Yes, I get it.
But the water's boiled.
Quite the wait.
Pour for you if you'd like.
No, we best be on with it. It is getting late, and you will probably want to see the layout of everything before you find where you would best place your equipment.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Trying to figure out the most cases of activity. Yes, have there been any more particular sightings or areas of note in certain areas of the Priory, or has it been...
Yes, there are some where we tend to have a few more sightings than others. As we get to them, I'll fill you in. We have quite a distance to cover, so why don't we set off?
After you.
All right. So, stepping back from the story and into the behind-the-scenes thing, this is an investigation sequence, as it's called, where you gather clues, and the game allows you to have core clues, which you need no dice rolls to uncover, because otherwise nothing happens. But then there are alternative ones, right? So they're the sort of extra bits, not necessarily essential, but they can be helpful and handy, and those are.
So we've got
four
four main ones that we'll absolutely collect to progress the story, and then we have optional ones to explore other routes.
Right. So when you're doing an investigation, you'll be looking at, say you're casing room, tossing room, whatever the term is. Mechanically, you'll get sort of the things you need, because again, an investigative story can't move because you can't find the clue because you didn't make the dice roll, then what kind of story is that? So the dice roll is strictly for alternative clues, which will provide you a little extra info. So while you're here, if there's anything, it would sort of flow seamlessly, but I wanted to let you know what's going on behind the screen, just so that you as players sort of know where to take your time and focus.
Gotcha.
So if I just say, okay, and you enter this room and all of this stuff is there, you're like, wow, okay, do I need to roll anything? No. If you do, it's because you want to dig into deeper things, but I'm never going to not give you something that you could find handy. All right. So Sister Faustina beckons you and takes off, sort of tottering down the out of the room, leading you behind. The immediate door is single file, and it is almost this. You get this almost impression of a mother duck leading ducklings. By the way, she's sort of not bombastically, but sort of proudly walking ahead of you and looking back now and again. Are you still there? Are you still there? Everyone can get up on the curb, right? And so, starting off on the first floor, walks along. Yes, so the places you may be interested in knowing about. Over there's our library, and over there are the dormitories. The church itself, we have a few other places. So we have the church, the infirmary, the cloisters, the kitchen, the chapter house. If there's any of these that are of particular interest to you, we can go take a look at them. No, but they're all around here.
So there's still nuns here. Do you still?
Oh yes, we are an active priory.
No wonder they were protesting.
She sort of gives Christopher Yes. Look.
I was just wondering what you think of all that. I mean, it's going to be kind of rough having them outside, like waving signs and things. I mean, you're women of God, but you can take care of yourselves. I mean, women's lib, right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're quite capable at handling and taking. Yes, as you say, taking care of ourselves. We have done so for many centuries here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. No, it's simple nonsense, just rabble and people wanting to find something to complain about, and so they choose our priory.
Yeah, but a lot of bollocks.
When people don't understand something, they fear it, nephew.
Well, that's not true, Auntie. I don't fear anything, and I don't understand much at all.
Oh,
I can see that.
Dear summer child. No, almost Dr. Rose. I believe they said that there was a library. I think that might pique your interest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am definitely interested in the library.
I know that I was hoping to visit the church proper, if you don't mind me splitting a little bit to do so, Doctor.
No, of course. I would say splitting up might be a smart idea. If you hear anything or see anything, just make sure you make notes, and we could always have a plan to meet back in the main area in an hour or so. Potentially after the tour is done, each person go find off and report back, and make our way from there. I think obviously splitting up is the best idea. More information and quicker time.
Okay, we're splitting the party.
Unless anyone has any objection.
How are we splitting the party, and who's going where? I presume on the first floor right now, unless you really want to start going up to the other floors and add a list of rooms. So, Diana's looking at the church.
Yes.
Rosemary, the library.
Yes.
And Gregory and Christopher, are you going with them, or are you going somewhere else? You need me to run through the list of what you have available.
Yes, could you please, Simon?
Okay. 2 dormitories. The church proper, the infirmary, Diana's going to the church. The cloister, the refectory, the kitchen, and the chapter house.
I don't know about you, Christopher, but I'm going to check out that infirmary.
You think they might have something fun in there?
Well, I mean, you never know what you can find. Might have some recreational morphine.
She would lead the way. This ghost hunting expedition's a bit of a snooze already. I'd prefer just to sleep through the entire thing.
Well, a cat's still out there, you could lie down in the back seat, but I don't know if the crowd would be happy with you.
Honestly, at this point, I think they'd probably try to keep us in.
That's a truly horrifying thought.
Right? I mean, honestly, if they were really having this much of a problem with all these lovely nuns, they should have just talked to their husband.
You're a hilarious man, Christopher, you know that?
No,
my darling, dearest nephew.
Yes?
One might find it pertinent to, stop taking that foot out of your mouth.
I promise I never take it out.
Mr. Hearn, are you more of a... Are you a man of faith or not? Or are you more a man of science?
Well, I've got this. It's my lucky Celtic knot. It's a.
I remember getting that you from Ireland. Right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, the Hearns are originally part Irish at least, and so I mean, there's faith, but it's kind of a mishmash, right, love? It's old country, old gods, new gods. Why can't they all just melange, right? I mean, I believe there's something out there. If we're being bullshit aside, I have to stop swearing inside this place. Pompous disregard aside, do I believe in God? Yes, I believe that something had to do all of this great stuff. Have you ever had a shower beer? That was not organic. Someone planned that.
Yes, probably a bunch of one-out professing students.
Yeah, but who taught them to do it?
Science.
Yeah, but who made science? I mean, you're a scientist. I'm going to use that 1 point of humanities to say that I can do this. I mean, wasn't Sir Isaac Newton a man of faith and a man of God? I mean, he was God's gift. He was born on Christmas, baby.
Your logic is infallible, mate.
That's fair. But I don't believe
Yes.
in ghosts. No, I've never seen one. I'd love to see one, shake the hand. Maybe we could find Marie Antoinette. Got a great joke to tell there.
She isn't rumored to be at Avium Priory.
Well, I mean, not here, but eventually. Oh, sorry, Nun. I didn't realize you were here.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, sister. I don't mean to be talking about faith and belief right in front of you.
And borrowing your recreational morphine.
Right. On that note, who is, I guess, taking Sister Faustina up on her tour in terms of which room they're going into and who is sort of breaking away? So who's sticking with the nun rather than everyone just going off in their own directions and leaving her chattering her way to herself?
Gregory will go with the nun.
I'll go with the nun too, because I'm Christopher is very convinced that there's going to be a very attractive young nun who is questioning her vows somewhere inside of this abbey.
Oh my God.
And I think that, I'm sorry, I didn't write the character.
You sure?
I will pull your ear so far.
Hold on, while I just look at the author and writers section of this book.
This one wasn't me.
Christopher Hearn.
Not me this time. It could have been. But,
Oh yeah, look at the art.
The art's so good.
Pants.
He's got the plugs in his neck from the vampire fangs. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh God.
The art in this book is amazing, folks. I just gotta say, like, the devil girl on chapter 4 is just so good pulp. Anyway.
Okay, so the two of you, I guess, so you'll be asking her to check out the infirmary. Makes sense. And then the other two will sort of deke down side hallways on your way there. So let's start with the library. So Rosemary goes in the direction of where it was pointed out. And while Christopher and Gregory are distracting Sister Faustina, she sneaks away. You find the library again. It's not difficult. She pointed the way. Going inside, it appears to be a library. Surprise, surprise. There's a number of books on the shelves. It's not a vast collection. It is one of those, lower and upper shelf libraries. You do notice there are no ladders in the room, however, so perhaps they intend you to climb the bookshelves to get to the upper stacks, if they're stable enough to support anyone. Looking around the immediate area, there's a number of old books that are bound up in cloth. You see some titles that tell you that they cover various services, theological discourse, local folklore, texts on exorcism, demonology, the good stuff. Anything else in particular you're doing in this room? Looking for, or
I think looking for any sort of She probably has with her like an EMF reader, so she's probably trying to find like any spots that are like lighting up a little bit, to try and just see if there's any signs of the supernatural and paranormal in this room.
Okay. So as she wanders about, carefully moving it around, waiting for the signals, as she turns away from the bookshelf, it does have a moment of activation, and there's a clatter, a thud behind you.
What fell to the ground? She'll turn around and go look.
A book.
She'll pick it up.
It's old like the rest of the ones here. It's a text on exorcism.
Huh. Spooky, she'll say, and she'll kind of stick it in her like bag that she has with her. Never know, it might come in handy later. We are in a priory. Never know.
I think there are no cameras around.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Stealing from the priory, sure, it's fine.
Research,
exactly.
Okay.
It was divine intervention that this fell down. Obviously, God was wanting me to have this.
All right. And so she's got the book in her pack now. Any other like things you're doing in the room?
I was just looking if there was anything I could for what I put for my tropes. Nope. Okay. Is there anything like secret like hallway or anything like it? Is there any like she'll start like picking books to see if like one of them will open a secret door or anything like that?
Okay. Could you make a larceny and cunning check, please?
I would love to. Cunning. All right. Nope. None of them. I'm looking for 8, 9, 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I rolled this 7, 4, and 2.
Well, nothing you find there.
All right.
If there was anything to find.
If there was anything to find, yes.
Okay.
All right. I think she'll probably just head out and try and maybe sneak around and snoop further.
Okay. If you want to think about any other rooms you might want to go into, we'll move on to the church. And Diana. So, the ancient stone pillars of the church are cracked. They're worn. Yes?
No, I'm just touching everything.
Oh,
I'm touching rocks.
okay. I thought
I'm
you wanted my
touching the
attention.
stone. I'm touching the rocks. The textures.
Just don't drum on them. I understand people are not cool with that. There's the vaulted ceiling looks particularly the worse for wear. Any money or fundraisers that might have ever come into this place have definitely not been going towards roof repair. Unsurprisingly, there are stained glass windows where you see the deaths of saints. There's a rather lavish red cloth over the altar and the pulpit. As you drift around, examining the room, there are relatively disturbing looking carvings in the choir stalls and in the pews. You see things like horns, teeth, and claws, occasionally eyes in there as well.
Can I do some sort of... I'm trying to think of like the religion check equivalent of a thing. Could
Culture,
I use
intelligence, or humanities?
I could use culture. I could use culture. Can I make some sort of culture check on this?
Yeah, culture and intelligence.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come on, Opti needs a new pair of shoes. Tensor with 2. 2,
Yes.
4 successes.
Ooh, okay. Now, was there? I can tell you some stuff that you do notice. And was there anything in particular you were looking for, or do you just want to hear what I got for you first?
I want to know if it's depicting a particular religious event, or belief, or passage. Its connection to any sort of text or scripture, or belief in any one particular deity or belief.
God. It's the depictions. Do you mean the carvings in the pews or the stained glass?
The carvings on the pews specifically, claws, teeth, eyes.
Yeah. It's not that they're not randomly carved in the sense of just like whoever was doing it was like, cool, I'm gonna put some claws in here. But there doesn't seem to be a consistent narrative that you can piece together in there, in terms of, is there a particular section of religious doctrine or a story, parable, whatnot that is coming across here? It seems very decorative, is what it is. You do notice something though with that nice 4 successes. You are familiar with, well, it's culture. You're familiar with things like churches and so on to an extent. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking for what you were with the carvings. But it takes her a second, and then she stops and does a sort of. In English churches, the altar should face east. This one's actually inverted. The altar's at the west end of the church. And there's a particular stain on some of the flagstones, but you're not quite sure what. It's not a natural part of the stone.
What color is the stain?
Rustish?
And if I put my finger on the residue, does it come off?
Not very much.
And if I
but a bit.
taste it?
Well, it tastes a bit like stone, maybe a touch metallic.
And I thought human sacrifices were just so out of date.
There you go. Got a quip in there. That's a good one.
Oh, this is definitely, as the doctor would say, noteworthy. I'm gonna see, figuring out what I believe I found out here. I'm gonna try to sneak my way back as if I haven't discovered anything, and just don't be suspicious. And just.
I've been here the whole time.
I've been here the whole time.
You were just looking over there. Okay, cool. So you'll, I guess, rejoin them in the infirmary, or like just as they're exiting the infirmary. Rosemary, keep thinking of where else you might want to go if there's anywhere else along the way. And in the infirmary, Christopher and Gregory. The room. So you've passed by a number of other rooms, and Sister Faustina's been like, "That's this, and this is this," and you've poked your head in the door, and much like you would on any sort of tour, and gone like, "Oh, okay, all right." Unless you have more interest in it in particular. But this is one of the few rooms that you've seen so far that doesn't seem dusty or disused.
Oh.
There are 3 beds with that sort of stiff white curtain privacy screen that they have, taking up most of the room, most of the floor space. The walls have wooden cupboards. some shelving. You can see a number of glass bottles on them, possibly containing what you're looking for, possibly not. Who knows? As you enter, the one of the bed curtains sort of rattles open, and Gregory, odds or evens? Evens. Okay. Gregory notices that there's a yellowed document, sheet of paper, something on the bed.
Oh, what's this here? Gregory will walk over and collect it.
All right, so he walks over and picks it up. And the camera, as he picks it up and starts looking over it, the camera fades out, and the soundtrack picks up the sound of rain and the clip clop of horse hooves, the sort of rumble of wagon wheels, and there's a flash of lightning, a rumble of thunder, and our scene opens on pouring rain and a stagecoach that's moving gingerly along the road. Players will mechanically, if we need to, use the same character sheets because it's simpler that way. But you are not you at the moment. Don't worry about specifically who you are just yet. But you can make choices for the protagonists in this scene. So it is raining. It is torrential. The group of you are sitting around. You've been on this journey towards the village of Abiham. You should have reached it hours ago, but the storm has delayed you and is keeping you out. You were attempting to banter and sort of make the best of the situation, but as you sort of begin, as the first joke is told, there's a loud whinny from the horses, and the coachman, Henry, screams. There's a whip crack, and you hear, "Wolves! Where? Wolves!"
Where are the wolves?
Hey, what do you do?
Bother. Seems to be some trouble out there.
Look out the window of the carriage.
Okay. So, no, they are not werewolves, as far as you know that you see. However, the scream from Henry is perfectly legitimate. One of the horses is being torn into by a large canine-like beast. Two actually. One other is sort of harrying the other horses, and the fourth has leapt atop Henry and is goring him with its muzzle. One of the horses breaks away and starts galloping off, and the other two are struggling in their traces. Left of you is the deep dark forest, and the right, through the rain, in the distance you can see lights, and presumably the priory that's not far from Abiham itself.
Quick, we should all run while the wolf is dealing with that horse. It's not going to take long, but I see lights in the distance.
Gotta get to them then, fast.
Quick.
Hurry. Ladies first.
Wait, that's not the way these things work. Come on, move it!
Okay. Is everyone just running into the...
Yes.
We run
Well,
into the
not-
darkness.
Light!
towards the light, not the darkness.
What's the light?
I mean,
Which I'm sure we'll
It's
both
always darkest
find.
before the dawn.
Okay. If you want to circumnavigate the globe and come back that way.
Here, I brought spices from afar.
That will surely calm the wolves.
Okay. So as you run, towards the lights over at the Abbeyham Priory place. You hear sort of the possible final screams of Henry, and then growls, and look back to see glowing eyes bounding through the forest behind you. It's a short path that you're on. It's relatively clear, but you still have them chasing you. So we're going to roll initiative.
Okay.
You will roll the lower of your athletics and cunning, or your empathy and dexterity. And roll for
The lower of the two.
the lower of the two.
Between what was it exactly? Sorry.
It's between athletics and cunning, or empathy and dexterity.
5 or... Oh, 5, okay.
Yeah, it's either 6 or 3.
It was like 8
Oh, I got
for the
three
other
or
one.
3 or 4 for me.
Oh, damn!
Oh. Nope, that's
5.
not 8.
Okay, hold on.
I got a lot of 10s. These dice, I opened brand new dice today, guys. They have been wonderful.
You're using all their luck now.
You know what? I have to use it before I'm the storyteller again, because my players always win. It's
okay, so 5. Everyone else got 0 for
0.
2, and Greg.
0.
0.
Nice, Greg. Back of the pack.
Give me 2 seconds here just to wrap up
Don't
the
worry,
other
we
ones
just need to
here.
run faster than the wolves. We just need to run faster than them.
true.
Trips one of us.
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing there.
Oh no, me
Just-
too. Me too. Don't worry.
Just like seeing you guys go ahead, just like, oh, that's right, they don't need to run faster than the wolves, just me.
The Jaws strategy. So you've got the way it works now is having rolled initiative, we move focus from character to character. The highest rolled initiative is Kelly's of 5. So you can take your action, or you can, with the agreement of another player, swap places in the order.
So
I gotta tell you, it looks like they're moving very fast, and you guys not so fast.
okay, so we're using our 19th century names from the quick start, right? Or from the sheet?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Hugo Hearn. I would like to switch my initiative with either of the ladies in the party, because he did make a point of saying ladies first and trying to be chivalrous.
Okay. So who are you switching with? I guess.
Honestly, Diana is ahead, so Robin, your character, if you'd like.
Oh, you're gonna let Anne Gorman go first.
Yeah, if she would rather have 5 initiative, take it.
Yes, she would.
Oh wait, you're playing who are you playing?
So if you look
Look
at
here.
our character sheets, like
Yeah.
our pre-gens, so
Yeah.
in italics toward the bottom,
Yeah.
so my person's name is Hugo Hearn,
You're my husband.
a dandy daredevil and a Raquel.
Oh, I'm so sad now.
Simon, do you want us to introduce these
Yeah, that's not
these
a bad
characters?
idea. Now that they're running for their lives, let's get
Yes.
attached to them and see what happens.
So perfect
So-
as you swap around, you're going to see Anne Goldman, a young woman of limited means, is traveling across the country to take position as a governess after the great scandal of jilting her fiancé at the altar.
Oh, okay.
So she prefers to be right rather than be liked, especially when the stakes are high.
All right, and so what does she do? Why don't we introduce as we approach them in the initiative order, and that way, if by chance they die, no one needs to know who they missed out on. Okay, so
Perfect.
yes, Anne Gorman.
So do my favored stunts and stuff carry over from?
Yeah, we'll use the same mechanics.
Okay.
Equivalent 19th century equivalents to the 1970s equivalents.
You know what? I think she's scared. I think she's just gonna run like hell to the lights.
Running to the lights. So you can make an athletics and might check. And then just tell me what you get. And we'll swing back around when that's necessary.
All right, I got 2 successes.
Okay. Very good. So Anne just books it and runs. Okay. So up next. Ooh. Okay. Who's towards the back? Now it is Hugo Hearn and Lieutenant
George Arthur.
George Arthur. Yes. Okay. So you two have the lowest initiatives now. So the beasts will be, leaping at you. So they are going to roll to attack. Now you can take an action to defend. Basically, spend your action to defend, which will make it more difficult for them to hurt you. So if you'd like to actively attempt to defend against them, you may, but if not...
Absolutely.
Okay. So depending on how you're going to do it, if you're dodging athletics, dexterity, if you're parrying or blocking with something, close combat into might.
I believe I would dodge. So what was that roll again, sorry?
It's athletics and dexterity.
Athletics and dexterity. Thank you. 2 ticks. Just while I scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got 5 dice to play with.
Ready.
Hold on, I'm doing this all on like Discord bots.
Oh yeah, okay. All good.
I have 1 success.
1 success. Okay. So, well, that is enough to succeed. So the way it works, of course, is 1 success is a success. And at that point, various things require extra successes to buy off or to be spent on. So, for example, if you have complications, right? So like bad terrain or various things like that, then you might have a complication of 1 or 2 based on what it is, and you'll need the extra successes to buy that off to succeed. So the initial success is spent on succeeding, and the rest of it is that. So you can succeed, but then still have to deal with the fact that you're not in ideal circumstances to do it. To defend, it's a difficulty 1 test. You don't have any extra successes to spend on the defend stunt, which would increase the difficulty to attack you by 1 per. So you have defended. If they don't get anything extra, then we'll see what happens. Well, okay. So you dodge this beast. There's a smell of sulfur off of it, coming off its breath as it snaps in the space where Lieutenant Arthur just was. And then another one comes towards Hugo, who is now, wow, everyone's changed costumes. How excellent. You're ready to change back too at some point. Okay, so Hugo.
So what is my role? It is...
Are you dodging or are you blocking in some way?
Let's see. It's athletics versus close. Athletics if possible, unless, yeah, it would be a dodge.
Okay, go for it.
So that's athletics and dexterity?
Yep.
Perfect. I can actually do this. Huh. He says rolling. Oh crap! Yeah, 4 successes.
Damn. Okay. They also got 4 successes, and so it sort of makes contact but isn't able to pierce anything. It's like a grazing blow of the muzzle against Hugo's.
You're gonna have to do
leg.
better than that.
All right. And next up is Diana.
So Elena is going to turn back, seeing her husband fall back a bit in the initiative of things. And she is going to, she's actually going to run back and try to fetch her husband.
Run, my love.
Okay.
No, we said we were going to see the world together. We are going together.
No, we did put that on the to-do list, yes.
And I'm going to assist him in some way of getting us both out of there together. Elena is actually a real seer and mysticist. She keeps that a secret from everyone except for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And she's led an extremely sheltered life and longs for excitement, contact with others who share her gifts, and the opportunity to spread her wings. So she wants her beloved husband to see the world with her, because seeing the world isn't worth it if he's not there.
Excellent. Okay, so she goes back to assist him.
Yes.
Sort of pull him up from where he stumbled, dodge the other beast, and continue. Okay, she is going to have to tackle with one of these things, though. Well, okay. She was going to have to tackle with one of those things, but this the third one just snaps into the empty air. Again, it's one of those. If it were a Zack Snyder film, which it's not because it's the 70s, there'd be this slow-mo pulling him out of the way and dodging this, drool flying off of its jowls creature. Okay. So there's one final one that leaps, and okay. We're gonna go high, middle, low. Everybody except Robin. Call it out.
Mid?
Mid. Kelly, Brody.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
So Brody, you're low.
Low.
Kelly, call the first. High it is. Okay.
Bring it, bitch! Bring it, you cad!
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Do I get to try to
Yeah.
dodge, or do I only get one?
Let me just. You really just get the action. So,
Okay.
let's see what you do. That's what. Okay, so one. Do they have anything?
So, can this version of the character use quips? Or tropes?
Why not? Yes, why not?
So, I'm gonna say... Hold on. Always carry an item on you. Or one purchase of a free cinema. Oh wait, can we spend how many rewrites do we have?
It's per the group, so 4.
So 4. Hold on, what do we have here that could be?
Everyone's got to agree with you on this, by the way. It's the writers' team going like, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's drama. I'm a serious actor. Montage. These are so good. Like, this is
For those of you at home, as he's looking, these are basically stunts and sort of cinematic elements that can be used to really reinforce the genre and the milieu of things.
Might I suggest, Kelly,
Yes.
the dramatic meteorology where
Yeah.
we rewrite that the wind, maybe the rain and wind is so violent that maybe it's the wolves have a hard time seeing us.
I'd be fine with that if everybody else would. It's not like, oh, how about a lightning felling a tree between the character and the monster?
Sure.
Because for those of you who are listening to the sound effect, I have that sound effect ready.
Oh, all right.
Ooh. I love it. I love
Are you
it.
cool with that? Okay, so it's already
100%.
100%. Yes.
Okay, lightning, close thunder. Here we go.
All right.
Lot.
So rather than having his leg practically torn off, well, maybe not practically, but that was 4 points of damage that you avoided there. A bolt of lightning strikes a tree, which splits in two, falling in front of the beast and keeping you clear. We will jump to the top of the initiative order, and since everyone is running though, and it isn't so far away, you do find yourselves nearing the front door of the priory. There's a bit of lag and stumbling and so on, but you see the door opening, and there's a wide-eyed young woman in there, just motioning in.
You don't have to tell me twice.
All right. Is there anybody not entering?
I don't think so. For sure. Anne is for sure getting the heck in there.
Okay. So
George Arthur would hold back just a little bit to make sure everyone got in first ahead of him, just so he knew everyone else was in.
How gallant. Okay. So as everyone enters, George Arthur notices, just as he steps inside, the beasts have stopped. You're a military man. You've got a pretty decent eye for distances, maybe 20 feet or so away, and they've formed in a semicircle with the door as the sort of focal point. They're not angry looking anymore. Their eyes still glow. They don't seem scared. They simply stand there just watching.
You know, the last time I seen dogs act like that was when they had chased someone or some small critter like a rabbit into a trap.
Spooky. As you enter, the sister, in a hushed voice, "Thank God you made it. The wolves are dangerous this winter. We would never think of turning you away. We can find rooms for you tonight. Is anybody injured?"
I believe we all made ourselves.
My darling, are you injured? You should not have come back and risk your life for me.
Darling, life without you wouldn't be worth living now, would it?
Okay. I'll show you to your rooms, but I must ask. We, the Sisters of Vital Communion, are in the midst of a very important service, and you must stay in your rooms.
Of course.
Under no circumstance set foot outside, no matter what you think you. Do you understand?
It's a bit peculiar, but I suppose you did help save us. Suppose that's a small request to ask.
Okay.
However, will you be actually locking us in these rooms?
If you feel it necessary, I suppose we could try to lock you in, but...
No. I don't want to be locked in. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So, okay, so as everyone departs for their rooms, the scene fades, and we're back in the infirmary.
wardrobe change.
Good wardrobe change.
There we go.
Kelly just-
And Gregory has read a page, an account of it's a letter written by a Reverend Wolfram describing the arrival of a group of travelers at the Priory in the 19th century. But it only contains what we just saw now. What else are you doing in the infirmary?
After reading this, Gregory would turn around to Christopher and say, Christopher, could you get the EMF reader out of that and start running out around the room, please?
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind at all. Excuse me, sister, would you like to see how this works? You seem to be quite interested in this type of thing, right?
Oh, sure, why not? Please.
It works on electromagnetic pulses, so check this out. And I'm going to do that, but I'm going to kind of distract her so Gregory can do his thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Gregory's doing his thing. Okay. Anything else you're doing as you're just using the EMF reader on the area?
Just doing a quick check, like looking around to see if it.
Yeah, nothing's really kicking it off here. It seems a relatively neutral space.
While Christopher is doing all... not Christopher, sorry. Yeah, Christopher. No, never mind, I'm being daft. Anyway, while that's...
anymore.
While that's going on, Gregory would turn to his sister. Sister, you know anything about this, indicating the document that you'd found on the bed?
That's interesting. I don't know why that would be there.
You know what it is, yeah?
How much time do you give her to look over it?
Someone doing a bit of midnight reading in the infirmary, then?
I guess so. Yes, interesting account.
What state is the bed that Gregory found the note on? Like, has it been slept in, or is it well made?
No, everything is made.
Okay.
But like freshly made. No, it's not like they've been sitting here. As I mentioned, this room is not dusty, so they're keeping it up.
Okay. One reverend, what was the name again? Simon, sorry.
Pardon me?
What was the name of the person who had taken note?
Wolfram.
Reverend Wolfram. Do you know when he occupied the abbey? Yeah.
I would have to look back at the records. It doesn't come to mind right away.
Right. Mind if I hold on to this for the time being?
Yes, I suppose that would be okay if you maybe leave it somewhere accessible.
Oh, of course. I'm not looking to rob from you guys. I just want to keep it on hand for reference.
No, I didn't think that was the case at all. Just in case somebody finds need to access it. We'd just like to know where it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
You getting anything there, Christopher?
A bit. It's kind of, am I getting anything off of this?
No, this is pretty neutral too.
No, honestly, I think it's fine here. Sorry, sister, I was hoping to have something fun to show you, but apparently, well, you do such a great job in the infirmary that nobody kicks off in here. Or maybe they just don't stick around.
And that's when Diana reappears.
I've been here the whole time.
Oh, yes. Oh, hello. Thought you'd gotten lost.
Oh, sometimes people don't like looking at the strange and unusual. They just choose to ignore it.
That's true, yes. Once one gets too used to living with these things, they simply become part of the landscape. As a player question, where would the group like to look next? Presumably if anywhere just yet. And where would Rosemary be looking next?
Rosemary's, before we even had the flashback scene, I was wanting to go look at the dormitories.
Okay. All right, so we should be looking at the dormitories. There are two. I'll look at number 1 or number 2.
I'll go with number 1.
Okay. And then the rest of the group from the infirmary, where will you be going?
The dormitories.
Number 1 or number 2?
Number 3. No, I'll follow the soon to be doctor.
Okay.
If she'll allow it.
Okay.
Can I carry that for you?
Oh, well, thank you.
And the other two?
Diana is going to write a nice little note to the doctor and just slip it somewhere, like when she's looking at a clipboard or something, she'll just slip it on there.
What does the note say?
There's blood in the church, comma. And the church is wrong.
You'll see like the brief like flash on her like expression be like concerned, like eyes wide, and then she'll compose herself again.
So I do think heading down to that nice little diner after this would be nice. Just make sure to write your food order on that.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's on me, of course.
Of course.
Really, Auntie, that's very sweet. Can we? Do you think they have? That they have French fries.
They're called chips.
I know they're called chips. I'm British. It's a joke. I was just trying to reference it.
Too much time. You've spent way too much time.
Honestly, it just took the piss out of that whatever his name was.
I don't know if it's necessary to attend a diner. We expected you for dinner.
Oh, you're gonna have us for dinner?
It should be shortly.
What are you having?
It's
okay. It's a surprise. I understand.
Is there gonna be a vegetarian option?
I believe we can accommodate that.
Yes. I am a vegetarian.
Very good. Yes. I will ensure that the cook has something aside for you.
But earlier, before leaving the infirmary, Gregory would have had just one final look around, not using like any specific equipment, just by hand die.
Okay. So make a I guess a cunning do you want to roll medicine and intellect?
Okay. No successes.
No successes. Okay. He pokes around. Looks like an infirmary. He's been in them before. How this one might differ from what he'd expect. It's beyond him.
It's sorcery, I tell you.
I thought you didn't believe in this. Okay, so dormitory number 1?
Dormitory number 1.
Yes.
Okay. So now with Sister Faustina in the lead, since you're all together again, I believe. Yes?
Yes, I believe so. We've all gathered together.
So the room's long and dusty looking. There are narrow windows. As you've spent your time setting up and the sun was setting beforehand, it has set by now, and moonlight is weakly shining into this room. You can see that there are still a few wooden beds here. They're unmade. But as you walk in, there are they're countless. It's impossible to tell just how many black cats just scattered and standing all over the place. And as you enter, they all just swivel their heads. And these green eyes just stare down the room at you, as cats do.
Well, this isn't creepy at all.
They aren't moving closer to you or anything, but they are just staring.
Hi, kitty.
Who's furthest into the room, however far that may be, or not far?
I think Gregory would be at the back after investigating infirmary. He'd have to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So of the other
I know Diana would have been close to Rosemary at one point to drop off the note, so I'm guessing the two of them are sort of closest to the front.
Yeah, probably like the two of us are probably somewhat near the
Right.
front.
So a rather large cat who's got a missing eye and is walking with a bit of a limp actually comes up to Rosemary and does that, wind around your legs thing they do repeatedly. So goes through once and you're like, okay, creepy kitty again, and then a third time. And it's almost like he's nudging your legs
Huh.
in a particular way. And the way that basically he seems to be sort of, he's pushing with his head and his hindquarters. And if you follow with him, you wind up facing one of the windows and spot what looks to be a trap door on the floor. It's got the telltale cut in the ground.
As almost Dr. Rosemary leans down, will say, "Huh. There are many things even those of learning don't understand."
Can Diana pick up the cat after Rose does that?
Make a persuasion and manipulation check.
Aww. And Diana's gonna say as she does this, in some cultures they believe that persuasion and what? Cunning?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Manipulation and persuasion.
Manipulation, persuasion. In some cultures, they believe that cats can tell what type of person you are, and others revered them as gods.
Huh.
That is 2 9s.
Okay, great. He allows himself to be picked up.
And she pets him. She's like, some people say that cats are amazing judges of character.
That's why they like you so much, Auntie.
Oh, of course. During my trips to Egypt, I got to visit many, many sanctuaries that had the worship of cats.
Rosemary's gonna try and open the trap door.
It's jammed shut. How much effort are you putting into this?
She'll put in a good amount of effort.
Okay.
Is the sister still with us?
She is, and she's listening to Diana's talk about the cats with a very like, oh, yes, of course. Well, actually, this group of cats has lived here for hundreds of years. How remarkable is that? They're excellent mousers, so we just let them stay. Keeps the abbey tidy. And forcing the trapdoor open. As she's starting to really put some effort into it, the sister stops paying attention to Diana and goes, I don't think that's necessary, do you?
Oh, sorry, I'm just, the paranormal sometimes goes underground. Is there a particular, is it just like a wine cellar or something underneath here? What has been under your priory?
Cat storage?
I think it's just a crawl space. It was storage of some sort.
Do you mind
Of course.
Well, I mean, if you want, the doctor is happy to take a crawl down there.
Oh, yes.
Or the soon-to-be doctor. I'm just going to call you doctor. It's just easier.
I would like that very much, actually.
Do you mind? Because I don't want to be premature about it.
No,
but I know they're
please.
going to accept your thesis.
Oh, please. Just say it for me, please. Just Dr. Quinn, please.
Dr. Quinn, would you please go into... Dr. Quinn, would you please do me the honor of going into that crawl space and rooting around for spiders in the lot?
Oh, I've been waiting for someone to call me Dr. Quinn for so long.
Oh, I thought you were about to finish that by saying I've been waiting for someone to ask me to crawl into their crawl space.
I mean, she's a doctor. I could do worse.
Hell. Well, now, sir.
Um, if
Yes.
if she's insistent, then the sister, steps back. Very well, fine. If you like.
There's
And-
nothing to hide, right?
No, it's a crawl space.
And of course, I'm just gonna go for a pop down there, wave my gadgets around, take some notes, and I'll be right out. I'll be out in a jiff.
Okay. So while she's down there, anyone else got anything they want to do?
Does the cat have a name? I am morally invested in this cat now.
There are so many of them. We don't even know how many, so we don't name them now.
Cat Stevens. We'll call it Cat Stevens.
That is a stupid name and that is a stupid idea.
I like Cat Stevens.
I will name you Bassett.
Interesting. Good.
Right. Well, then I'm calling you Cat Stevens. I'll point at a random cat. Just like right in the face, just cat. The cat likes it.
The under the trap door is a small crawl space, and it's jam packed with dust and cobwebs. So it's very much one of those like push your way through this mass of things. But what's interesting is it's not a particularly small crawl space. It seems like it's narrow, but Dr. Quinn vanishes down there, and then depending on how long, of course, you want to stay down there, she could be a few minutes at least moving through the crawl space. So let me know when you want to turn back.
I think she'll probably like go for 30 seconds, turn around, pop her head back up, and then see if the sister is still there.
Oh yeah, she is.
Ah, yes, just a regular crawl space, no tight. She'll put herself up, close the trap door, and then try and like maybe sneakily wedge something under it, so then it kind of stays open a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Easy enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
Covered in dust and cobwebs.
Yeah, just nothing. Just cobwebs and dust. Probably a few spiders down there. But yeah, just a regular crawl space. And you're right, absolutely right, sister.
Your hair, you got a little,
Oh,
little.
thank you. It was quite dusty down there.
Okay. The sister looks down at her watch. Actually, goes, "Oh, if you'd like to come with me, dinner will be served very shortly."
Might we stop by the washroom and wash our hands before dinner?
Yes, of course.
Perfect. Yes, that's a grand idea.
So she can lead you to somewhere to freshen up.
Does she join us in the washroom?
No.
Perfect. Rosemary.
She tells you where
will-
to go and where dinner will be, and then
Perfect. In the washroom, Diana. I called myself Diana. Rosemary will go to Dan and say, "So, I mean, that crawl space was narrow, but it looked like it went a while. I didn't go through all the way, but I walked for like 30 seconds, and it was still going. I think there's something down there by the way the shifty, how she didn't want us to go down there originally. Something is going very odd. I think we need to sneak down there.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Don't you agree, Bassett? That's why you let us there. That's why you let us there. Mwah.
Yes.
And she's like washing Bassett's paws under the sink too.
He's taking this well.
Cats are a great judge of character.
Apparently, yes. They chose well, and thank you, Bassett, for letting me know about that trapdoor.
So, when I went looking at the church,
Yes, you saw blood?
it's backwards.
Oh.
It's inverted almost. Which does not make quite sense for
No.
in the iconography.
And a very long crawl space where dormitories and people sleep. And
I mean, that's just the crawl space. I'm like,
What if it leads somewhere? What if it leads to like a chamber or something? I say, we keep going, sneak out at night, grab everyone, follow, see where it goes, then check out the creepy bloodstained chapel, see if we can get some
I do believe that
ghosts.
they were doing some form of ritualistic sacrifice.
Yeah, that slightly is concerning.
Yes, indeed. But, Rose, I do believe that we can figure this out. The four of us. 5 of us. I'm sorry, I forgot about you. The 5 of us.
Let's go update the gents.
Hopefully they haven't gotten themselves into too much trouble.
Yes.
Gents, have you gotten yourselves into too much trouble?
Oh, bugger, I seem to have caught my underwear in my zipper. I'm in a load of trouble. Oh, never mind. It's tearaway. No, I'm just washing my hands, basically. Just The trick is to sing happy birthday 3 times.
Okay, so those shenanigans. Brody, Gregory up to shenanigans, or is just washing his hands?
Gregory's very allergic to cats, so he's just trying to wash this. His sinus is clear at the moment.
All right. Okay. So your companions knock on the door, get your attention in some fashion. From there, where do you go?
Are we chaperoned still, or is the nun gone
No.
off?
Sister Faustina left. So you're not currently chaperoned. But she did give you a sort of a 10-minute heads up for dinner.
So, as I was telling Diana in the loo, that crawl space went on for a while. I didn't see the end. I walked for about 30 seconds and still didn't go. Anyone want to go creeping down a crawl space?
Yeah, it's the sweetest things, love.
I know, don't I?
Are you two...
No.
No.
Are we... I'll do that between, like, kind of vaguely between either of them, just... Going to go down the crawl space.
I'm engaged, Christopher, but you're a lovely chap.
Alright, fair enough.
I mean, Christopher, if you want to take me out for drinks after this is all done and we
I'd
survive,
love to take you out
I
for a
won't say
pint.
no. Ah,
I'll take you out for a pint
Good.
after to celebrate your thesis.
yes, you can call me Doctor for real.
I would love to do that.
As lovely as this all is, in front of me, what it goes on in your chambers goes on in your chambers.
We're just being friendly, Auntie. We're just being friendly. I'm just taking you out for a drink. I take you out for a drink all the time. You want to grab a drink in a different... You're right, it is kind of different, isn't it? I'm sorry.
It is. It's quite different. Now then, should we go to the crawl space when we have time, or do we want to play along with their little supper?
All right, let's go to crawl space then. Sounds terrific. Hold
Yeah,
on
I
to
think we
ticks
should-
though. Gregory's gonna walk around, find like a small napkin or something to hold up to his nose. The presence of cats.
It's not the dust, it's not the cobwebs, it's the cats.
I mean, we could distract them while one person goes down there. I mean, come on, think about it. Then they'll be distracted. They won't worry about us snooping around because there's something down there they're trying to hide, right?
I would bet that.
Let's split up. The faster we go, the better off we'll be. That's my
Did we
quip.
bring a torch in with the equipment?
Sure. Yeah.
Right then, let's get that out and head into the wonderful crawl space.
Oh yes, it was such a joy.
Okay, so everyone's going to the crawl space?
All right, might as well
Or
go
are you
too.
splitting up? Or
I
are
was
you
trying to
splitting up?
split up, but you know what? If everybody's going, Christopher will follow the group 95% of the time.
Okay. So you can go one at a time into the crawl space. And, well, thankfully, the first 30 seconds or so of it, the dust and cobwebs have been brushed aside or clung to Rosemary. Who's in the lead?
I'll take the lead.
And the rest of it will be absorbed by Gregory. Okay, into the crawl space. It continues for a period of time. I mean, again, longer than you would think. It's a bit. There's a turn. There's another turn. A turn again. And stop me if you stop and do anything different. But I'm assuming that you're all seeing it through to the end.
Do we notice any like? Well, seeing as how like the trapdoor had like an obvious shape for like an entrance,
Yeah.
I'd be looking for something similar, like edges and gaps that might form a door.
And you see it at the end.
What you reckon this goes?
I'm guessing nowhere good.
So,
Well, we're gonna be brave. Aye.
Aye, I think so.
Aye.
I'm brave. I'm brave enough.
Yeah, you are. You're brave. All right then. Come on.
Let's
Gregory will march over towards the portal and try to open it.
Okay, it takes a bit of work to push it open. It's pretty firmly closed. There's a no. Okay, you are able to open it, but it funnily enough, you feel some resistance, and there's a little less light. It's like a kind of filtered light. So you see a bit of fringe and realize that there's some sort of rug over top it. But pushing it all the way does move the rug, and you're able to climb out. I presume you're climbing out all the way, or just poking your head up, or what's the?
Poke the head up for a quick survey.
It's a. It looks like a meeting room. There is a light that's on. It's kind of flickering right now. There's a round wooden table in here. Some other, cabinets, smaller tables. But yeah, seems to be possibly the chapter house.
All right. If there's no one immediately present, Gregory would climb up and out of the hole and turn and offer his hand to anyone who might want to climb up as well.
Okay. presume that's everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rosemary
Alright,
will join.
Make our way out to see the room as well. The table, it's a round wooden table. It seems to have seen better days. It's got teacup rings on it. There's scratches, pens, and so on. Somebody has actually, carved bits into the top of the table. Nothing decipherable, but once you are all up there, you can hear some sounds coming from below the floor, but further away from the crawl space, which would explain why you didn't hear them when you were in it. It sounds like heavy objects being moved around, and occasionally hears a like exertion grunt.
I'm going to move over to where the sounds are emanating from, and press my ear to whatever surface to try to get a better idea of what's happening.
Sure. I mean, they're moving some. Whoever is down there is moving something. It's clearly heavy. It's occasionally there's this sort of that telltale dragging sound or pushing sound of something moving along something else, but by and large, you can't quite make out any fine detail.
Okay.
Anyone else?
This is a weird room. Auntie, what do you make of this?
And she's like starting to open up cabinets.
So the cabinets, I mean, they're relatively bare. Some of them have teacups or a tea service set. The sort of things that you might expect to want to store in the meeting room, so you don't have to lug them in from somewhere else. There's some blank stationery, pens.
Is there any stationary paper?
Yeah.
Doctor,
Yes.
do you have a piece of charcoal or a pencil on you?
Oh, of course. And she'll take out
Now, I
charcoal,
learned
probably.
this when it came to grave rubbings. If you press lightly on the paper, you'll be able to see if someone was pressing hard what was written last.
Oh, very clever.
And she's just gonna start seeing if she can make out any. Do this when expecting old grave sites that have been a bit worn, a bit weathered.
There's well, as she starts kind of going down along it, it looks surprisingly mundane. It looks like either a shopping list or an inventory of some sort. So it's detailing foodstuffs, and then a variety of different, like, again, paper, pens, bedding, just seems like someone was either inventorying or putting together a list of things to get.
Sorry, Doctor, it just looks to be a haunted shopping list.
I want to look at something here.
Is there any floorboards that are loose or anything? If
They creak, but they aren't. It doesn't seem like they're loose per se. It's just one of those annoying, you step down. Well, what if I should? No, everywhere. Kind
I
of.
see you've been in my house.
What was I looking at here? Oh no. Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. Yeah. So that's what that. There's the carpet in the room, but apart from that, yeah, no loose floorboards. The carpet sort of absorbs some of that sound, but it's a nice round rug.
So we heard the moving and scraping under us, but not in the crawl space.
Yeah, the crawl space is sort of off to the side, and this is closer to one of the corners of the room.
I don't suppose any of you have any bright ideas?
You had a look, didn't you, Brody? You couldn't see any secret doors or anything?
Did you look for secret
Gregory,
doors?
not Brody. Sorry, I reading Zoom. Gregory, sorry. I don't know where Brody came from. Must have been another TA I knew.
That was
It's a bloody random name to call me. How many Brodies can there possibly be out there? Seriously.
I know.
That was,
I'm so sorry.
That was a blooper which we weren't able to edit out. The budget didn't allow for refilming that scene, so the actor was named instead.
Yep.
Did you look for secret doors? I didn't remember.
As far as I recall, I was just investigating the source of the sound.
Right.
I could investigate for secret doors.
If you
Possibly.
want to roll a 1d6 on a 1 or a 2, you find a secret door. No, I'm joking. Okay.
There was getting everything set up as well.
If you'd like to look around for hidden spaces and so on, you can do so. But ultimately, you don't really seem to find anything that appears further odd about the architecture of the room.
No like breaks in the wallpaper or
No.
or if I press on a wall, there's no like give. It's all solid stone and that. Or
Yeah, the
wood.
walls are all. The walls don't give any indication of that, and there's the trapdoor on the floor next to the rug. Actually, well, there's some. There's no like breaks in it, but it looks like there's a bunch of chalk marks on the floor next to the rug. You hadn't noticed it pushing it up, but now that everything's back down.
Chalk marks.
Yeah. Just on the edge of on the floor, on the edge of the rug. It was just covering them.
Okay. I'd like to look into that. So.
All right. Moving the rug. There are more marks, but it's really kind of hard to quite make it out. Anyone who wants to make a humanities and intellect check, however, is more than welcome.
I would love to.
Sure.
Chalk marks on the floor? That sounds like magic.
I have a point of humanity and intellect.
I got 5 intellect, no humanity, but I will use my intellect.
So it's a mix between humanity and intellect. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I have
Awesome
2 dice. I have 2 dice and 3 successes.
Wow.
These dice are amazing. I think I found where Christine gets her dice.
Where did you get these dice, by the way?
I caught these at a game store like across town in on Vancouver Island. So like.
So my P.O. box is P.O. Box 69.
Nice. I'll get them sent.
That's actually my P.O. box.
Is it actually?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Send me dice.
I'll send you dice. Yeah.
Okay, so there are a number of successes throughout the group. Okay. It looks like the remains of a circle.
Can I use one of my stunts for this?
I believe you can, if depending on the
Tastes
stunt.
suspicious.
Okay.
I can purchase the stunt when I take an action to understand a strange disease, magic, or a monster, and I gain a little bit of its effect.
Okay.
Magic, magic, magic.
Yes, it is. You identify it as some
I'm gonna
sort
taste the
of
chalk
ritual
just to
circle.
make it just be like.
Be very clear about what you're doing here.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you a specific effect in terms of mechanics just yet. Character, upon imbibing the chalk, does start to feel tingling sensation. And you are also a bespectacled person when your vision kind of goes blurry momentarily, either with them on or off, and then it kind of kicks back in, but you get that moment of like having to refocus. Yeah, you get that.
That's magic.
Magic, you say?
Huh.
Now, I will note that in-game, you're late for dinner. As a story guide, I am not pressuring you one way or the other, but I thought it pertinent to note that it's taken you more than 10 minutes to wash up and go through the crawl space and do all this stuff. So, just so that's on the table.
So it's dinner. We better get going to dinner.
Again, I'm not pressuring in any direction here, but I felt it.
It's magic. This is magic.
But the chalk?
The chalk, the circle, it's magic.
Oh.
That's a leap, I gotta say, just from you licking it.
It's a circle. What's wrong with that?
I'm sure you lick plenty of things in science.
I mean, I like plenty of things and I'm not a scientist, but...
No, this is right magic.
Lick magic.
You can lick a lot of things. I licked a lot of things in the 60s.
I mean,
For anyone who contributes to community content stuff, you might start making a list of quips based off of some of these things here.
I licked a lot of things. I licked a lot of things in the 60s.
For science.
For science, yes.
But no, this is right magic. I think. What, you're looking at me like I'm a crazy person?
No, I'm
You've
looking
got
at
Because you
words?
sound like a crazy person.
As a scientist, I must say it sounds a bit odd, but we also know in science that you can have your hypothesis, and then if you prove it to be a theory, then it's fine. We just need to find the evidence to prove your theory. Or prove your hypothesis to turn it into a theory.
Is the chalk on the floor not sufficient enough?
It's a good start.
Oh,
but
we know
I
it's
think we
fucked
need
with
some more
LSD.
evidence.
Listen. Magic is real. It works in mysterious ways. Isn't that right, Bastard? Isn't that right?
Gregory will walk away when she brings out the cat and holds his nose.
Magic works in mysterious ways, Dr. Rosemary.
Oh, someone else is calling you doctor. Okay. Do you want to spend any more time in this room, or
When the cat is revealed, Gregory is making his way towards the exit.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to become a purse cat? You're gonna become a purse cat now. And she did the oversized bag. She just puts him in her
What's
purse.
new, Percy Cat?
He's not small, so yeah, oversized bag would be very suitable.
What's new, pussycat?
Okay, so anything else you want to look around in this room, or further endeavors?
I think we've got everything in here. We need to head back to dinner. They're gonna wonder where we went.
Yes, well, I think we're already late. It's probably not a good sign.
I think Gregory's got a good head start on us. We can't be the last ones to arrive for supper.
Yes, you're right. Let's head back to dinner. Act like nothing is wrong. See if we can continue and.
Okay.
Gregory wouldn't have proceeded too far because I think he's the only one that came along with an actual torch. I think, at least.
Well, there's enough lighting to kind of make your way around. Or you mean you're going back to the crawl space?
I mean, like when I'm in, when Gregory is inside the crawl space, he wouldn't have proceeded too far along. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, because of course, since you hadn't yet come to this room, the sister didn't really get a chance to show you where it was, so you might be wandering around a little bit. But you know your way from here. Okay. Anything before getting to dinner, or jump the scene to you entering the room?
Probably just a quick dust off of cobwebs and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, let's jump.
Scene cuts, and you're entering the room and sitting at the table to a group of 5 nuns, all sort of looking a bit. There's a Sister Agatha sitting at the end of the table, holding up a pocket watch, just giving a.
Apologies for being late. Yappy's so mysterious and just it arouses the puzzled spirits within ourselves, and so we were lost to the curiosity.
I was saying a prayer before supper.
I was listening to my notes. I'm so sorry.
I have indigestion.
Well, I hope this meal suits you better. So there are, as I said, there are 5 nuns. You have met Sister Agatha and Sister Faustina. There is a quieter nun, very, very old, very thin. Ancient is probably the only word to describe her. As she's sitting there, sort of picking apart food. There is also a tall, relatively attractive woman as well, and then a younger nun who's sort of, I guess, behaving a little more shyly than the rest. Now, how do you seat yourselves? Are you all clustered together? Are you sitting amongst the nuns? There's room on the there's enough room if you want to sit next to anyone in particular, but it's up to you.
Are the 2 younger ones sitting near each other?
Close enough.
All right, well, there's room for one more. Let's spread out. The faster we go, the better off we'll be. It's an awkward quip.
But it's a good one. All right. So, well, we know where Christopher's sitting. Everyone else?
Rosemary's probably gonna go somewhat away from sit away from everyone. She's probably has writing notes down in her book, her notebook, just kind of updating slyly, trying to write down what they've seen today, and also just update what the machines have been her equipment's been saying. So she's just basically gonna do the eat while listening and writing notes, but not really wanting to necessarily engage. She might just eavesdrop conversation rather than be part of it.
Okay. All right. Diana and Gregory.
Gregory would sit anywhere. Is there any glasses of wine at the table?
Yeah. Okay. So the meal itself, it's a pretty simple meal. There's looks like fresh bread on the table. You can smell that it has been baked probably today. There isn't wine, but it looks like you have your choice between tea or water. And there is a hearty-looking soup, distinctly not vegetarian.
Sisters, where is the blood of our Lord?
We don't drink that with... who are you asking, by the way?
Just generally asking the table.
Yeah, so Sister Faustina pipes in. We don't partake of that during meals.
But you have the bread, which is it not the body of our Lord Christ?
Are you a religious person?
No, I just like wine.
Right.
Gregory, not all denominations of the faith require communion with dinner.
No, but Gregory does.
It helps my spirits.
And it helps us find our spirits.
My apologies, it looks like Gregory partakes of Bloody
Oh,
Mary.
that's a good point, actually. After
Bloody
the war,
Mary
we'll need to
goes
go
on
get some
this.
spirits.
Diana is gonna sit next to Sister Agatha, towards the head of the table,
All right.
and strike up many a conversations about faith, belief. She's not eating because the meal isn't vegetarian.
Mm-hmm. Well, the
She's
bread is.
barely. She like eats some bread.
This is delicious.
Diana finds it very difficult to get anything out of Sister Agatha. She's eating silently, has what looks like a permanent, not scowl, but just, blank, displeased face, and is just sort of looking between each of the other sisters and your group, especially eyeing Christopher at his spot on the table. But any sort of, oh, what do you think about this, is sort of met with at best a grunt or a shrug.
So have you ever heard about the art of moving furniture to bestow upon yourself good luck?
She looks at you with a bit of a side eye. Sister Faustina, sitting on the other side, opposite you, pipes in. Oh, I believe I may have heard something of the sort. Could you tell? And then is sort of silenced by a quick look from Sister Agatha.
So you have heard of it?
She looks up. Stories of this? But no, nothing. Nothing in detail.
And your particular interest in this? Does it go beyond the normal linguistics of Chinese feng shui, or are you trying to incorporate other types of faith into your belief about the energies among positions?
She looks at Sister Agatha, looks kind of around the table. I don't know. I'm not exceptionally familiar with that sort of thing. It's not really my area of expertise. But yes, well, no, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to your question.
Perhaps Sister Agatha does?
You get a grunt. And Gregory, that ancient nun I mentioned, is trying to make eye contact with you, or making eye contact with you. She just chews the food that she's sort of shredded up with her hands. It's like she's, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, just imagine like very thin, spindly fingers just ripping this bread apart into small bits, and then
Let me guess. You're a Merlot lady. Shiraz? Nah, I'm thinking of the wrong section. I'm thinking reds. You look more like a rosé girl to me.
and his japes and various witticisms are met simply with her rather sinister looking stare. Rosemary's taking her notes, and is she is doing anything else at the same time, or is it just just like gonna keep writing, eat my food?
She's probably probably mostly like focused on her notes. She doesn't want to make so many waves because she probably feels like after the trapdoor debacle that they might be keeping a slightly close eye on her. So she's probably just like quietly jotting down things and making a mental map of the place in her head.
Okay. Did anyone take water or tea? Soup, bread?
Yeah. I'll have all of it.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's not vegetarian. They didn't care enough to accommodate her request. She's not eating as a form of protest.
Okay. All right. Gregory, there's no wine, but
I will make do. He will make do.
okay.
With everything on the table that he can get his hands on.
That sounds good. Christopher, seated between or close to the two other sisters.
Hello, sister. Sister.
You get a shy nod from one and a less shy nod from the other.
And I'm sorry, I didn't get your names besides sister. Sister
Mary Fortitude
Mary Fortitude.
and Sister Mary Patience. From the Shire one, if you
Mary.
catch the changing.
Mary Fortitude made it. Mary, was it Constance? Was the second one?
Patience.
Patience. So how long have you been nuns?
Oh, not long. A few years bored of big city London life, so I came out here. Mary Patience. Well, just relatively recently.
Well, pleasure to meet you both.
And you. Sister Mary Fortitude stands up and walks out of the room towards the hallway. Doesn't really give any any heads up.
Interesting. All right. Well, I guess have we said grace on the food? We have, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so-
they said it before
they
you
first,
did, so
first,
hopefully
yeah.
you did.
All right. God is good. God is neat. Break the bread. Now let's eat.
Good. So he's eating. Okay. Just based on the chat, do people want to take 5? I think we're scheduled until 11:30, right?
Yeah, for another half hour.
For another half hour.
I'll
So,
be good for half an hour. It's fine.
Everyone's good for that. Okay. We will we'll go as quickly as we can here, but if we don't make it all the way through, we'll make
it.
gallant effort. Okay, so the meal continues. Sister Faustina is the loudest. She does sort of try to strike up conversation now and again, and pretty regularly gets silenced by Sister Agatha. Sister Mary Fortitude comes back a little bit later. Christopher reeking of cigarette smoke. And that's about it. He keeps catching Sister Mary Patience looking at him, sort of, out of the corner of her eye, now and again. And at one point, actually fumbles her tea, dropping the cup, which hits your bowl of soup and spills the bulk of it onto the table. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. You know what? I'm actually pretty full anyway. The bread was really filling. And my stomach's still a little bothered from earlier, so I don't mind at all.
Oh, okay. All right. Very.
Let me just. Did you get any on your habit?
She looks in. No, I think I'm all right.
That's good. I'm the only one here that should have a bad habit.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, let me clean this up for you. Don't worry. I'm happy to serve people who serve.
Okay. The dinner continues. So, players, if there's anything else you want to ask before it finishes, let me know.
Okay. Did I eat any of the soup? Did Christopher eat any of the soup?
He didn't have a chance before she drops.
Didn't have a chance. What does it smell like?
So it's oxtail, and it smells
kind of like
herby?
organ meaty, like very probably irony.
Yeah, and it's distinctly herby, especially anyone who is eating it. There's an aftertaste which is a little unpleasant.
Okay.
Too strong of the herbs.
It's Italian wedding, huh?
Herbs.
Yeah, that's always a nice minestrone.
There's a Sister Mary Patience when she sort of picks up on the facial reactions. Oh, too heavy on the rosemary. I'm so sorry. And then Diana notices a glare from Sister Agatha, to which point she sort of shrinks back. And we will cut the scene there. It fades out and fades back in. Our 19th century friends are in the rooms to which the chambers that they've been shown to. The men have been put in storerooms. The women in what seems to be the novitiate dormitory.
I would try to stay with my husband if I could.
The nuns are the nun is very firm about sleeping accommodations.
We are married under God.
Yes, well, it's simply appropriate.
It's not premarital.
There are wolves outside.
Fine.
Don't worry, my darling. George will not steal me away from you.
And
Mr. Arthur.
She is gonna steal a kiss before heading off. Just
Okay.
A nice chaste kiss in the hallway, right? Like just a little.
Mm-hmm.
It would just make the morning all the sweeter.
Okay. So, not long after she leaves you all there, this is something that you all become aware of, regardless of which of the rooms you're in. There's a very, very pungent smell of incense wafting through the halls, under the door, leaking into the rooms, and you can hear a low.
Sure, I can go.
Building
keep going much longer without falling asleep.
Fair enough, totally fair. You are a champion for making it this far. So we'll go as quick here and do our brief wrap up. I will.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was speaking there.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
that is probably a good sign, though. If you're talking without realizing it, you're probably beyond tired. It's 4 a.m.
I just realized, I'm reading messages here, and then just like, oh wait, my symbol's not on mute. Oh wait, my mic's not on mute. Oh, I'm talking out loud, aren't I?
this is the worst blooper to hit the tape ever. This with the professionalism of the set.
Sorry about that.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to my trailer.
Well, then why don't we do as much of this, or do this scene? And we can, and it actually is not a bad place to wrap for the sake of the actual play for the show.
Maybe we can convince Onyx Path to let us do a sequel.
Perhaps part 2.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Really
Anyone who's
sorry,
online?
guys.
No,
I'm really bad.
Dude, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're a hero.
Yeah, you're a hero.
Really. I would have passed out by now if I were you. I mean,
This is the only thing keeping me alive.
Oh, espresso beans. I thought those were water balls. I'm like, why are you eating water balls?
No, they're chocolate-covered espresso beans. I figured if they worked with Gilmo, they'll work for me.
Nice.
I mainlined coffee before this, so you know. Okay, but yeah, let's try and get a satisfactory narrative conclusion.
Right.
Brody, you're good here. Okay. So after the incense comes the chanting. It's a low building chorus coming down the hallways. The incense is underlined by the stench of sulfur, and the chanting is accompanied by a bass, a tectonic rumble, and you practically feel your bones shaking within your bodies. A door creaks open, and the sounds start to draw closer. What do you do?
Elaine is going to turn to her female compadre, who Michelle is dumb and forgets names.
Anna. It's okay.
Anna.
Don't worry. What?
Because she has a feeling of what this is. She's gonna direct Anna to, like, the corner of the room and just goes, close your eyes, cover your ears.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Diana's gonna use a stunt. Which is a daring stunt. She's actually going to use magic.
Oh, okay. So what is it?
She is going to try to cast something protective in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, she's going to create a field with a complication for anything that wants to harm them.
Great. Okay. That's fantastic. So that will she'll do her thing, her ritual invocations of whatever to whomever,
Yes.
in whatever language, and feels the energy pulse about. It's challenged in this place, but she does seem able to get it to manifest. In the gentleman's space, what are you doing in preparation, if anything?
Do we have anything to protect ourselves, George?
Let me look around. Hold on. I'm gonna do a quick brief survey of our surroundings. Is there anything like we could pick up to use as weapons, or like form a barricade if we need to?
It's a storeroom, so yeah, you could probably find, there's furniture that you could smash and get a chair leg or table leg. There's enough that you can get an improvised weapon of some sort. Might even still have a nail in it.
Well, George would do that. He'd pick up a chair and crack it against the earth as hard as he could to try and splinter it into pieces that could be wielded in a single hand.
Okay. And same for Hugo, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Hugo will definitely arm himself.
Okay. All right. In the women's space, the dormitory, Elaine feels a power pushing at the ward, and you hear a voice from the other side of the door. Death awaits you, yes, but it awaits us all. You'll die well, I promise you. Your deaths will placate the master, and your blood will sate him. He rises tonight, you see. And better for Abiham and all who live there that he awakens to a sacrifice. Like little sod when he's peckish. At the storeroom, you, having barricaded the door, you start to hear thuds and thumps and see it start to shake on the other side. So starting back in the dormitory, what do the two of you do?
I think I'm gonna use a trope to though this is more, I don't know if are the tropes also transferable, because mine's, I have a gadget for that which allows me to have a newest gizmo that has a +2 enhancement.
It's a Gatling gun. No.
It's the 19th century. There's no reason you can't have some form of technology.
Okay, cool. Some sort of like cool like little hand gun thing.
Like the Derringer kind of
yeah.
pistol thing, but cooler.
Yeah, but cooler. Yeah, obviously.
Gatling Derringer.
Gatling Derringer. There we go.
Okay, cool. And with that, then the door cracks inwards and splinters. And there's a gap on the other side, very, very Shining-esque. And you see a ancient-looking nun on the far side, whose eyes are blazing red. Hands basically on both sides. She's done the "here's Johnny" sort of pose, but without the axe. Long claws for nails, as she stares in with a snarl on her face. And at the storeroom, a similar thing, only there's no sort of ominous speech in warning. It's just a bang and a smash, and the door breaks off its hinges and collapses inwards. And there's not just one, but a new number of nuns with the same sort of almost infernal look upon their faces, clamoring to break in through the door. And why don't we take that as the cut to be continued in part 2 of The Haunting of Abiham Priory, to allow Brody a chance to get to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, don't apologize.
No, it's fine.
Oh
We
my
need to grab some
goodness.
food too. We've been playing since 8, so I feel
I
like
didn't expect this to be so much fun.
me
So
either.
fun.
Simon, this was really good, man.
This is great.
Thank you. You guys are great. This is a blast to run it through. It's a really cool scenario. It is available, but I wouldn't recommend, if you intend to play it, to look into it. And therefore, I will not spoil anything by telling anyone anything about what's actually going on here if you don't already have a solid theory. Okay, so we've got
Game theory. No, sorry.
we've got a bit of time left. So one, I hope everyone's having an awesome OPP Con. I know I am. It's my first time running one here. So it's been a pleasure to run it for an excellent cast.
Simon, you've been absolutely
all
awesome.
of you.
Yeah,
Thank
you've
you.
been
Thank you.
awesome, Simon. Thank you for running for us.
Yeah, I have.
My pleasure.
I can tell you
Uh,
secretly that there has been some like chatting between myself and some viewers where we've been praising you in private. So
Oh, wow.
People really, really enjoy your style. So good job.
Awesome. Thank you. I see we are recording this, so I will keep that in here and on the internet for posterity and potential
And prosperity.
Who knows, right? Yeah.
Hopefully.
In America, first you get the actual play videos, then you get the money. So since we've got a moment or two here, anyone want to promote anything that they've got? First, also thank you, Occultists Anonymous, for the channel to run on tonight. Thank you, Onyx Path Publishing, for putting on the con. My personal thank you for the opportunity to run the game. And everyone else, if you've got something you want to plug, promote, or just whatnot, why don't we do a little sign off? You can say who you are playing, both versions if you'd like, and then whatever you'd like to talk about. So let's go, if anything else, let's go in reverse. Basically, this is the order in which the pre-gens are in my PDF here. So starting with Christopher.
Hello, everybody. I was Christopher tonight. My name's Kelly. I'm the storyteller and host over at twitch.tv/dorktales and youtube.com/dorktales, where we do a myriad of games from, of course, Dungeons and Dragons to, of course, Onyx Path properties and beyond. Love it if you could join us and watch some of our stuff, especially our Mage the Ascension game, which is set in the Victorian era with full costuming and musical accompaniment. It is fantastic. If I do say so myself, it is a lovely game with some very high stakes. And if that's not your thing, you can always join us for, of course, our fully costumed Dungeons and Dragons games every week on Mondays and Tuesdays, basically like almost any day of the week. Come find us. We have a lot of fun, and I'd love to see you there, or for Extra Life in August and November, where we raise money for sick kids.
Very cool. Awesome. Okay, Diana.
Hi, my name is Michelle C. Light. I am an internationally tolerated human being. You can find me online at pretty much everywhere at Michelle C. Light, or I have a website where I post things from actual plays that I've been a part of as a storyteller, as a player. I currently don't have anything going on right now because I've been taking a hiatus for my wedding that's coming up in 100 and so days.
Congratulations.
But I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things as a storyteller and a role player, so definitely check out my Twitter where I'll be posting updates on what's been going on.
Great. Okay, awesome. And Gregory.
Hi, my name is Brody. I don't have too much of a social media presence. I'm practically invisible there. But I've had a lot of fun playing Gregory today, and hopefully if you pick up this book, you'll have a director just as fun as Simon Kay, or cast members just as good as the ones I am playing with today.
Thank you. And yes, do pick up They Came From Beyond the Grave. It's a very, very, can we get a good shot of that book?
Oh yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
Oh, now they're both gone. Now it's back.
Excellent game. Okay, and Rosemary Quinn, last but not least.
Hello. Well, thank you for running so much, Simon. I've been Robin as Rosemary Quinn. You can find me on usually like social media as Second Gen Gamer, but you can see me play games under Kelly at Dorktales. That's where I spend most of my free time on weeknights. And yes, I have to hype up the Victorian Age game. I play in that game, and it is super freaking awesome. So please come do that. And I'm gonna bug Kelly to run potentially, hopefully, this game on our channel, because it was a lot of fun for my first taste, and I want more.
And we're all film nerds, so I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But you made one mistake there. I believed it was Dr. Rosemary.
Right, Dr.
Doctor?
Doctor?
Awesome. Okay. And so then I am Simon. I've been your story guide for the Haunted of Evian Priory, part 1. Ideally with a part 2 to come. Who knows? We'll see how things fall out. This was an actual play of They Came From Beyond the Grave for Onyx Path Con 2022, hosted on the Occultists Anonymous Twitch channel. I do tabletop game reviews at the tabletopalmanac.wordpress.com. It's my RPG review blog. And I'm also active on Twitter at Tabletop Almanac, where I mostly talk about games, but occasionally dip my toe into arts, culture, politics, etc. And I'm also on Instagram at Tabletop Almanac, but I don't do anything there all that much, except occasional photos of stuff. I also am hosting the show Walking into Shadow. It's a Mage of the Ascension 20th anniversary introductory series, basically just giving anyone who wants to tune in a taste and a sort of summary in a way of Mage of the Ascension, specifically the 20th anniversary line, although naturally we do talk about the other editions as well, to kind of help ease anyone into it who was ever sort of felt like they wanted to know more but didn't know where to start. That is the second and fourth Wednesday of every month on the Onyx Path Twitch channel. Yes, thank you everyone for coming and tuning in. I hope everyone enjoyed watching these fine people play their hapless protagonists in both versions, and hope you enjoy the rest of the con. I guess we are ending slightly before the scheduled time so that Brody can sleep, and that we can all do our.
And I love
various
you all for
things.
it.
Yeah, no.
Dream of us.
Hey,
My
I
sweet
will.
prince.
you said today, and that's actually true, isn't it? Because we started at 1:30 for you.
Oh yeah, how's tomorrow looking? Should I wear a coat? Like, what's going on over there?
It's, well, I mean, like, the sun is rising at the moment, so yeah, it's looking good.
Okay.
So then a special thanks and a round of applause for the dedication here. Okay, so I don't know if I've got much else to say to sign off. I don't know what else I need to say to sign off, if there's anything, but check out the other games, check out the panels, follow the other channels here that are hosting us. Stay safe, and everyone have a great time. May all your dice roll in the direction you want them to go.
All right. Good night, everybody. And